Welcome back to Qtronics, where I have all the gear and no idea. So, today, what are we looking at? That's right, it's a WonderSwan Crystal. Now, these consoles never made their way outside of Japan, but just lately they've started to pop up more and more, and people want to put IPS screens in them. Now, hit me up in the comments. There'll be a few people that say you shouldn't change the screen on a WonderSwan Crystal, but if you can see from the picture there, this screen has started to have burn-in. Also, I will have some examples in a further video of a WonderSwan Crystal versus a colour, just to show you the difference on the screens, but still, I believe an IPS screen is better than the standard crystal screen. Unless you like sitting right in front of a light, just to get the perfect angle on the screen, it's not the same. Now, there is a caveat with installing an IPS screen. The native resolution of the crystals is actually 75 Hz, whereas the IPS screens are going to be 60. So potentially there might be an issue there with some screen tearing or something because of the frame rate drop. And like I said, there'll be a video soon comparing the crystal and the colour, as well as the crystal and the colour's IPS screens, so you can have an overall view of everything that happens. But yeah, anyway, let's get swapping. So we're at the bench now. So first things first, let's show you what the screen currently looks like. And now on the camera, it doesn't look that bad. Again, I'm angled at a very weird angle just to get you that glimpse of a screen. But as you can see, it's there, but you turn it slightly off and you can't really see. And I'm trying to see if I can get it to show you on camera. There's a bit of screening, but yeah, you can see as soon as you turn the camera away, all of a sudden you can't see the screen. It's an old school screen. I've just turned the light on for you a little bit so if we can get a better view. But you can see as you turn away, the viewing angle on them is awful. And that's just because of when it was made. So yeah, let's just kick into a game for a second and I'll show you how it plays. Just turn this light back off just so I can get that angle properly. So as you can see, I'm actually struggling here at the moment to get a good angle for you. Just going to do a quick run around. I'm not actually going to try and play it. Just want to show you what the screen looks like. Right then, I'm happy with that. Let's get it open. Now I've actually made some improvements to how my cameras are mounted and stuff, so hopefully these pictures are just a little bit better. Now I'm not sure what torque size these screws need, but we're about to find out. A torque 4. Right, let's get this open. They're quite a simple little device, to be honest, and I believe they came out not just a little bit before the Game Boy Advance. They were the whole point was they were trying to take on the Game Boy, obviously, and the Game Boy Advance dropped and just changed the game once again. Right then, that should be us open now. Just double checking I've not missed a screw anywhere. We go. So I'm trying to be extra careful with the WonderSwan Crystal shell because you can't buy reproductions. So if we break anything, we're pretty screwed. And this is my friend's one. The colour you saw earlier on is actually mine. So as you can see, there's not a lot to the WonderSwan, to be honest. It's quite simple. So let's have a look what we've got in our kit. Oh, it actually came with the tool there. Right, so we have the actual new IPS screen here. They're not very big, as you can see, compared to like a screwdriver. They're quite small screens. We have insulating films. These sit on the back of the screen just to stop the board in being shorted out. We have, this is the new sticker that goes this is the new sticker that goes around it. And then we have a new screen protector. Now, I asked my friend if they wanted the new screen guard on. Obviously, they want to try and keep it as stock as possible. They said theirs is quite badly damaged, so they'd like the new one on, but to return the old one. And then we have the actual board. And on the back there, we have the two touch sensors, to help control the lights. And then we just have some more sticky stuff. So then, let's get the WonderSwan out of the case and we'll start the installation. Now, if you've seen some other videos, the ribbon for this actually connects like a Game Boy Color. So hopefully I don't have as many problems with it. Again, I'm being a little bit more cautious than anything else, purely because WonderSwan crystals are hard to get a hold of now. Right, there's that out, and let's get the board out. That's it. Nice and simple. There's not a lot to a WonderSwan board. Very simple. So I'm just going to take out all the buttons, just so we don't lose them. Right, then you can see the old screen here. Now I'm hoping if I apply a little bit of pressure, it should just pop out because it'll be on some adhesive. So let's get a spludger and see if we can get this out. It is starting to come now. There we go. There we go, nice and easy. Like I said, my friend would ideally like to keep all of the original parts. So we're going to put that in the box that it came in. Well done. Well done to the sellers on AliExpress for that. Right, and then similar process, let's pop out that front screen protector. Well, the screen front. There we go. Nice and easy. There we go. And there's the old screen front off. Right, again, as I said, my friend wants to keep all these parts, so they're going back in the box. So the screen would fit in around about there. So as you can see, what we need to do is take off these plastic things. So we need to just take off these plastic surround parts. So if you can see, these little tabs here, they need to come off first and foremost. Just gonna get some flush cutters. Hopefully my camera can stay focused. Right, I think some of this border needs to come off, so I just need to double check that. It does. So we need to take this line off down here. A nice pair of flush cutters. Trying to get as much of this off as you can. Well, that just shot everywhere.
That's what she said.
Right then, let's just seat it slightly. Let's just see if it's starting to fit now. And then we can start the grinding from there. As you can see, that would now start to fit. So let's get the grinding pen out and get this nice and flush. Right, we're back. So now hopefully that is clear of any dust. It should be ground down enough, and in theory this screen should just slot straight into place there. Now that to me looks like it should be perfect. I think personally I'd like to actually test that working properly and see how it looks lined up before anything else. So let's get the bits soldered onto the board that we need to. So not a lot of solder involved in this, just 2 wires, one to the power and one to the negative. Nice and simple. Hence why they put 2 wires in the box for you. I mean, I think they're even pre-tinned and pre-cut as well. So for one, we can go through this little hole here, and then we can solder on to the positive. And then the other one, we can just solder on, I think it's the positive, and then the other one we can solder on just to the negative here. Nice and simple, only takes one AA battery for this. So, and then this just wraps around the board. So let's get those 2 pieces soldered on. I said a tiny bit, but a bit more than I wanted came out there. Right, coming with the iron and some solder, which I've forgotten because I'm clearly an idiot. And if I was smart, I would have used a bigger tip because they're quite fat points. So let me just get the, let me change my tip. Right, tip changed. Let's try this again. There we go. Those 2 wires are done. Right, and as I mentioned just, we can slide this one through the nice little hole here. Well, I'm just making sure I get the orientation of this right. So this one goes to here, and this one being the ground goes to here.
You didn't see anything.
Oops, sorry. This one here goes to the battery, and then this side here goes to ground. Right, let's pin these pads. Let's tin these pads and go from there. Again, tiny little bit of flux. That's it. That is all the soldering we need to do. Right, now ideally I do want to test this out before I plug it in. So this bit goes into the bottom of the board. Just a nice flip up tab. You got that in. And that bit then would connect into here. Hopefully we've got enough room to do this just so I can give it a test. These connectors always give me a run for my money. All this just to test if this looks like it's gone right in this screen. I think that to me looks like that's going to fit nicely. So Let me see if I can possibly test it. I mean, if anyone in the comments knows an easy way of doing this for next time, let me know, because right, I'm not going to do this. I feel like I'm going to get a short on the board, so I'd rather just stick it down. And I have some more. I have other M3 double-sided tape if I need to, so I'd rather go that route at this particular moment in time. Right on, let's get the sticky stuff in place. Just trying to figure out how to do this the best possible way. So I guess this will tell us if we're lined up properly. I think we do need that bit of sticky, so I'm just going to put it there a second. So that to me looks like we've got a pretty good lineup there. I am praying that that has worked nicely. Just a couple of hairs here. Here we go, and that should line up absolutely perfectly, which it does. I'll leave that screen protector on now till we get to the end, and then I'll take it off. Right then, let's get this reassembled. We want to position this to the bottom left of the board. There you go, there's one bit done. Next, we need to take the foam off of this, as we no longer need it because the screen's a little bit thicker than the old one. Right then, the second piece of insulating film now sits over the top of those pins. Like so. And then we can start our reassembly. Obviously we have the touch sensors, but we'll place them last once I've made sure it's all working. So we place the board on, plug this in. So we want the X buttons on the bottom. Now sometimes with these installs, these pads might not sit flush, but these are looking pretty good, so I don't have any worries about them not making contact. So we can fold these wires over, and then we can stick the board in. Hang on, the rubber surrounding the speaker has just popped off. So I'll place that back in that hole there. So just want to make sure these wires aren't getting in the way of any of the buttons. Don't forget to move the touch sensors out of the way as well. These wires could probably be shortened. Right then, let's get the... I'll just leave the touch sensors there for a moment, as I want to test it. So let's get the back plate. Just make sure the back plate sits on properly. So now they should be together enough just to test that screen. That looks perfect to me. Yep, that looks good. Let's just see it start up again. I just want to see where that screen ends. And we have to push it down ever so slightly. I think it's off ever so slightly. So let's kind of look, see if we can sort that. Right then, we're back with the WonderSwan Crystal fully assembled. And yes, for pure joy, I have left the screen cover on and we can take it off on camera. So let's do that now. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's the best feeling ever, taking off that screen protector. Oof. Right then, let's turn it on and show you now how it looks. Obviously, I'll get a good angle on the camera so you can see properly. Wow, straight away you can see the colour difference. So I'm going to just turn that brightness down a little bit. There we go, brightness is down. It looks so much better instantly. Let's do a little battle, see if we can see any difference. Ah, it looks absolutely beautiful. And I think we have some colour change options up here as well, black and white, different versions of sepia. I mean, we'll stay with the, I guess the black and white's nice if you want that kind of look. Just testing on the buttons, make sure they all work. Just make sure everything's working as intended. Yeah, that all looks good. Right then. Thank you very much for joining me as I upgraded the WonderSwan Crystal to an IPS screen. I hope you've enjoyed that. Any questions of it, let me know, as I feel like I've tried to detail every step of the way through it. As I mentioned earlier, I will be doing a WonderSwan colour video as well. And then after all that, I will be doing a comparison So you can screen the before screens of each one, the after screens of each one, as the Wonder Shell colour is a drop-in one. And basically, from what I can tell, the only reason you would ever buy a crystal originally over the colour is because the crystal had a better screen. So once they're IPS'd up and they both have an IPS screen, is it worth trying to find a crystal over a colour, especially when colours have additional shells that you can buy, whereas the WonderSwan Crystal doesn't? Anyway, I think that's an absolutely beautiful WonderSwan Crystal. And as you can see there, that new screen front looks absolutely beautiful. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe as it helps the channel to grow and it tells me you want more of these wonderful videos. Anyway, catch you next time.